Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I know it's a little weird without my partner in prayer here, right? Should be there. I think he was just, I wanted it to be loud enough, but how's that? A little bit better? All right, cool. Nice. Howard's a little sick. Don't worry, he'll be okay. It's not COVID. I think his body was telling him 7 days a week for months and months is not the best idea. So he's taking the night off, and he'll be taking over on Thanksgiving, and I'll take the night off then. So we wish you good prayers, good thoughts, Rabbi. I wrote a sermon. He proofread it, even though he was sick. And hopefully we'll have a great time together. I'm going to share some of the songs that I've written over my life with you. I hope you like them. I wanted to do something different tonight. And I invite you in this moment to just take a deep breath. Let the rest of the week go. Hold on to what you want to hold on to. And we'll sing one more time. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. We're on page 120, 121. I would like to invite up Santina and David for our candle lighting. Right there. And you can. Do you want to read first? Do you want to read the English first?
Do you want me to
I
read
was
it
hoping
first?
you would.
Huh?
I was hoping you would. Just one of the English readings. Either one of those.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav ner Shabbat.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai. Thank you. Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת. So I want to, if you've ever been here and I'm not here with the rabbi, sometimes I'll just pose some questions and leave them there for you, let you kind of think about it. One of the questions I'll preface by saying, I have a really intense scent memory to fire. It reminds me of birthday candles. It reminds me mostly of Hanukkah and the story of when my sister was 8 or 9. She got her hair caught in the menorah. Yes, she was okay, but but we always like to laugh about that as just silliness. But it always kind of puts a smile on my face, reminding me of this time that, I don't know that she thinks it's that funny, but, you know. So we're going to be on our handout to start. So, the question I want to pose to you is, what memories are tied to the different senses for you? Maybe it's smell, maybe it's sight, or maybe it's a song that you have in the back of your head that reminds you of something. But this is a version of Hine Ma Tov that I wrote many years ago. Sometimes they're work to get them out of me, and sometimes they flow out of me, and this one flowed out of me. Gone, gone like a freight train, it's gone, like holding a balloon to the wind and letting it go. She is here, she's the reason why we're all here, and we're softening our fists. Can you hear our prayer? All of us, Klal Yisrael. So hold each other close. Tonight we are beautiful, together, beautiful, together, together tonight. Oh, 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 oh. So just breathe, let your chest rise and fall and just breathe. 'Cause we're living out his story. Since every saint has a past, every sinner has a future, yeah, we're all in this together. So hold each other close and don't look back. It's time for us to get a little rest and reconnect to what's next. Don't let it all go right out those stained glass windows. Tonight we are beautiful, together, beautiful, together, together tonight. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hine ma tov, umanayim, shever achim, shever achayot, gam yachad. So, does anybody want to share what they were thinking about? Was there something that you thought about that you wanted to kind of bring to the group? Know that I would probably be down lower if not for the camera angle. So we're all kind of in this together. Go ahead, Kay. Thank you. Others? Yeah, sorry.
The smell of cholera, which reminds me of Shabbat, and my house on Friday afternoon.
Well done, Breyer family. Well done. You did it. I was also thinking, as you're saying that, the next board meeting that we have, I volunteered to do to make some latkes, and what a wonderful feeling it is to have that oily smell. And as my wife reminds me, It's even nicer that it's in the temple and not in our house. So, as you may or may not know, I'm a pretty upbeat person. I like to think of myself as an upbeat person. Often I can fall into funks like everybody else. And when that happens, it's nice to have other people to help bring me out of them. And so this next song, Zehayom, is usually one that we sing as part of Hallel on some of our bigger kind of celebratory occasions. But I heard a version of this, and then this version came to me. So, let's see. Put it up here. So Zehayom means this day. And we're given this day, and we're so lucky to be given this day. And as I couldn't sleep last night, 2 o'clock maybe in the morning, way too late, I said, maybe I'll learn about like what dark matter is in the universe, and things like that. Yeah, it was a weird 2 o'clock for me. But as I sat there and read this, I couldn't believe the statistic that what we can see with our eyes is only 5% of our universe. Isn't that bizarre? 5%. That means that 95% of our world you've never seen and don't understand, because it's magnetism pulling us and pushing us. And I thought about how lucky we are to be part of this 5% that we can see. Zehayom. The wind is blowing, the trees are dancing, the sun is smiling, and I'm enchanted and lifted up. Zehayom. I try some things sometimes, and I make some compromises, and I miss the mark sometimes, and round it goes and goes. Zehayom. Asa Adonai, Asa Adonai, Nagila, Nagila v'nismechavo, Nagila, Nagila v'nismechavo, Zehayom. Asa Adonai, Asa Adonai. So part of what I saw as I was doing my research last night was I fell into the Jewish mysticism of Kabbalah. Maybe you've heard of that. And everything was calling to me for some reason. There was just a piece of me that couldn't stop reading at 2 o'clock in the morning. I should be asleep, I'm tired, or at least like watching a TV show or letting my mind wind down. But I couldn't help it. The more I read, the more I was interested. And Rabbi Klein taught me this term of tzimtzum, to withdraw within oneself. And I always use the term, tzimtzum, to say to make space for others. But one of the things I learned is that God actually was always there and didn't change in between. Is it a little echoey? It's a little okay. Didn't change. God stayed the same from before the world was created to when the world is created, to now. There was nothing, I mean, if you think about how you would take yourself away from something, it would be hard to stay present in that moment and not lose a piece of who you were and how you related to a situation. But it says that God actually isn't finite or infinite. God is inside both. And I thought that was such an interesting piece. It just got my mind going. And so I hope that this Shabbat, as we have these kind of like introductory prayers, that you're able to let your mind wander a little bit, and that you don't stay so fixed into the way the world has kind of taught us to be, but allow yourself to kind of reach out and move past that into a different piece of things. We're going to jump to Chatzi Kaddish on 144, and then we'll go to Baruch Hu on the next page. Baruch Hu is our prayer that says, "Are you ready? Are you ready?" So Chatzi Kaddish is sort of like, if you're not ready yet, you should kind of be getting towards there. Chatzi Kaddish 144. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah Be'alma divarach hirutev yamlich malchutei B'chayechon uvyomechon Uvchayei d'chol Beit Yisrael Bagala bagala Uvizman kariv V'himeru Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach Le'alam ve'me'omaya Yitbarach Yitbarach v'yishtabach V'yitbar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal Shemei d'kudesha Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Damiran b'alma V'yimeru. If you'll excuse me, I'm just going to turn this down. It's a little too much of me. Have you ever been in that situation? You can tell that you're supposed to be the one leading, but then it feels like it's a little too much, and you need to leave room for everybody else. That's sort of the situation I was in. If you were lucky enough to be a part of last weekend, we had Jacob Spike Krause here, a really nice guy. Now he is in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, where we have Hava Nashira, our musical retreat. I went with Leslie a bunch of years ago, and hopefully we'll go again soon. But he's there with 200 nifty children, North American Federation of Temple Youth, the overarching youth group. Lillian Weinstein is actually there tonight as well. So I thought that was kind of cool. About 4 years ago, Spike and I wrote this song together, and when we started to write it, we only got through half of it. And I found that I continued to work on it and continued to shape it almost like a potter with some clay. And before I knew it, it was something that I really cared about in a deeper way. And so it would normally be a Baruch Hu for the morning, but I'm going to share it with you tonight because I feel like it's the right place to do it. So it's called Wake Up. So you can toggle between this page and 146. When we get to the end, we'll sing the Baruch Hu, so when you get towards that last paragraph, feel free to rise. Wipe the sleep from my eyes, reach out to the day, sunshine on my face, and I take it as a sign to take it one day at a time. Not a second left to waste. 24, you don't get more, so don't sit back and wait. Wake up to who you wanna be. Stand up, stand up. up to you and me. Wake up, wake up. So many here in need, yearning to be free. It's up to you and me. Another day of morning light, another chance to make things right. So let me do so with a plan. I'll shut up pettiness and pride and pour my prayers up to the sky. Maybe rain will calm this land. 'Cause one by one we plant these seeds and watch our future grow. And when we're gone, the door by door, they'll eat from the bushes in the land that we sowed. So wake up to who you want to be. Stand up, stand up. It's up to you and me. Wake up, wake up. So many here in need, yearning to be free. It's up to you and me. Wake up, wake up. Please rise. Wake up, wake up. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Le'olam va'ed. Wake up, wake up. Wanna be, stand up, stand up. It's up to you and me. Wake up, wake up. So many here in need, yearning to be free. It's up to you and me. Please be seated. So, I am not arrogant enough to think that this kind of service works for everybody. I realize it challenges a little bit of what we've done and how we've done it over maybe most of the time that many of you have been here. I saw somebody say today, one of my congregants asked me, like it was in one of these social media groups, one of my congregants asked me, why do we sing certain songs? Like, where does that come from? And many different answers, obviously. One of the pieces that I loved the most was actually like, there's morning liturgy, there's evening liturgy, there's afternoon liturgy, right? There's different things that we do in different ways. And one of the pieces that was the coolest that I didn't know about was when we sing the Kaddish. There's 5 different Kaddishes. There's Chatzi Kaddish, which we read earlier. There's Mourner's Kaddish later on. One of them is called the full Kaddish. And when we sing the full Kaddish, it actually has elements of all the Nusach, all of the music, across all of the different services. I just thought that was really neat and something I wouldn't have necessarily known. But one of the answers that really challenged me was something that I probably would have said to you, which is, we all pray in different ways. We do things that challenge us from the past. We do things that maybe are something that we would listen to on our own, or maybe we wouldn't. And all of those pieces tie into being part of a community. Right? Kind of like I say to my daughters, well, I get that you wouldn't necessarily want to do something like this. I get it, whatever that thing is. But we're still going to do it. Right? We're still going to do it. And before you know it, maybe that's a piece of what they like to do. And so I love that you said challah, Soren, because What a mitzvah and a treat it is for your parents to have, allowed that to be a part of your upbringing, and it makes me wonder what you'll do for your children or for people you care about in your life or younger as you grow up. We're going to read together on page 149. We're on the top where it says praise to you, and we'll read together. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide and time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, God, from whom the evening flows. 150. Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Avta, Torah u'mitzvot, chokim u'mishpatim, otanu lemadeta, otanu lemadeta. Anken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochtenu, uvkumenu nasiach בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ומצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו, לאורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. We're on 152 for Shema. Before we rise, I want to tell you that this Torah portion is Chaye Sarah. I'm going to share some of my thoughts with you in a sermon in a little bit. It is my very first time attempting a real sermon. Be gentle. But one of the things I really loved about this portion is I went back and I read all of it. And yes, there were a lot of names there's a lot of names in there, and a lot of things. But you didn't know that there were other children Abraham had later on after Sarah died. Did you know that? Many children. Yeah, who had their own lines of descendants, right? So, one of the things I noticed consistently across the portion, I know because I had to look up what the word was this idea of bowing to, or submitting to, or kind of like, I picture when somebody's crouched and they're sort of like, I'm humbly at your feet. It was a sign of respect. And it happens like 3 or 4 times in the portion, and it got me thinking about how often are we respectful to each other, and what does that respect look like in our day-to-day life? Is it a head nod? Is it a holding the door? It's definitely not bowing, and it's definitely not like, putting my, prostrating. It's not like that. And so my stomach will never touch the ground as I'm like, my servant. But it got me thinking, like, what a respectful way of life, that every time you really met somebody that you felt like you wanted to show respect to, you did it in such a theatrical kind of way. And it got me thinking that maybe our world could use a little more of that in whatever way that looks like. So the Shema, as it says in the footnotes, is a prayer that we can say in any language. And And it reminds us of the oneness of God, and in a lot of ways, the oneness of all of us. So when you're ready, please rise. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kevod Malechuto, Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated. As we chant the Ve'ahavta together, I invite you to think about what are the things that you would like to pass down to the next generation, whether those are your own children or grandchildren, whether those are people in your life who are younger than you, and how are you doing that in your day-to-day actions? 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadevarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha v'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'ekumecha ug'shartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam amezazot betecha uv'isharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti adchem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'yod lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. We're on page 158 for Micha Mocha, our prayer for freedom. It says, who is like you, O God, among the gods who are worshipped? And the thought is that back in the day, there were other magical deity-style people, things, entities, that could do a little bit of magic. And I thought about this as I watched anybody ever watch any of these magic shows, like America's Got Talent or Britain's Got... Some of these people are really incredible. And it's hard for me to believe that people can do things like that, no matter how it actually is. And it got me thinking about the world right now. Think about the fact that tomorrow there could be peace across everywhere. You might laugh, right? Right? Come on, it's not going to be peace tomorrow. But the way that we look at God is, why not? God's capable of anything. So if we look at it in that way, well, hey, it's really possible. And if we have faith in that kind of way, who knows what's possible? Manifesting is a real thing and can bring real results to our world. And so that's the place I sit in tonight, 158, Micha Mocha. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedor b'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedor b'kodesh. Norali oseh, norali oseh, Adonai Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Of course, when we sing that song, we think about the 250 almost people in Israel, well, probably in Gaza now, who aren't with their families. Children, very young, people who are very old. We think about freedom in that way. There's also other ways that we need freedom in our life. Things that are holding us back from being our best self. And so whenever I think about how Micha Mocha transitions to Hashkivenu, on page 160 we'll sing Hashkivenu, grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. I want to sleep and I want to wake up and I want to be better. I want to feel refreshed. What does that look like? Well, chances are I shouldn't eat a ton of food before I go to bed, right? Chances are I shouldn't read the news before I go to bed, or dive into dark matter, I guess. Chances are I should set my mind in a place where my subconscious can take those 8 hours and do something productive with them. I don't know how many of you do that. I don't often do that. And so when we're thoughtful about going from freedom to rest, there's something there in the intentionality. We're on the top 161, and then we'll jump to 160. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, L'Shalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. 162, you can spin, you can woo, right? That was Rabbi, the Homer was for you. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat. Another way to say it is we guard Shabbat. We know that it's important and special to have a little bit of time to rest, not just because God made the world in 6 days and then rest on the seventh day, but because there's an opportunity for us to unplug, to unwind. There's actually a whole trend going on right now with the Gen Z world. You know what it's called? Quiet walking. They walk outside without any electronics. Yeah, that's just called walking, right? Like, yeah. But to them, it's so novel because they haven't ever done it, right? My ear pods don't work, so I can't go to the gym. I can't take a walk in nature, sorry. My headphones don't work. So much clutter in our brains. Guarding a quiet moment is actually something really special. And guarding some fun is good too. 162. Vishamru. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasod et ha-Shabbat L'doratam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית. One more time. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. (164) the Amidah, the standing prayer. God, when I open up my lips, let it be something that I actually mean in my heart. Let me speak this into existence. Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare you. 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, v'zocher chastei avot v'imahot, u'mevi geula livnei v'neihem, l'man shemo b'ahava. Melech ozer u'moshiach u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'ezrat Sarah. 168. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye akol atarav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach umorid agashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim berofei cholim, Matir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar michamocha bal gevurot umido melach melech memid umechayeh umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'emanata lehachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol. 170. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahallelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el ha'kadosh. Please be seated. Hey Jerry, can I put you on the spot? Will you come read on 171, the top for us? Thank you. Well, whatever you choose is fine.
Days pass and years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illuminates the darkest and bush burns unconsumed. And we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Baruch atah Adonai.
I feel like I just moved here. 8 years ago, I did move here. Jerry and Leslie were some of the first people that I met. It turns out I knew their son Mark in a different way. He actually lived in an apartment that my sister had lived in first, because they were in rabbinical school at staggering times right behind each other. And so Leslie actually had a book with my sister's name in it that Mark had found in the apartment. And I don't know what your thoughts are about meant to be or all of those kind of things, but it just made me feel very grateful. And the more I've been here, the more grateful I am that as an Army brat who moved around over 2 years, I found a home, found friends. People say you can't be friends with your congregants. That's nonsense. I'm friends with all of you, and I'm really appreciative of all of the goodness that you give to me, and hopefully I give to you too. And so if you look at your handout, this is the last one that's a handout, it's gratitude. And so I want to give an extra big shout out to my friend Kay back there, who is constantly trying to bring me out of my shell and have me share some of these songs that I'm a little more private with. And so I'm really grateful to you, because without your pushing and your encouragement, I probably wouldn't be sharing them tonight and maybe at all. So thank you. Fresh air in my lungs, food on the table, love's in my heart, and strength's when I'm unable to see. There's so much good around me. The health of my children, the chain of tradition, my wife, she's an angel, the rock of my existence. Laughter of friends in the moments of life that take my breath away. Baruch atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha L'chana Elehodot, U'L'chana Elehodot. Baruch atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha U'L'chana Elehodot. Grateful for all I've got. Yeah, I'm grateful for all I've got. So help plenty of strangers, 'cause we were all just strangers once, sharing this love, oh, we are all capable of. When the clouds cover over the bright lights in the sky, don't cover up the good in life. Baruch atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha U'L'chana Elehodot, U'L'chana Elehodot. Baruch atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha U'L'chana Elehodot. And I'm grateful for all I've got. Yeah, I'm grateful for all I've got. All I've got. We're going to take a moment for personal private prayer. When we come back together, we'll be on 180 for Oseh Shalom, our prayer for peace. Shalom Bimroma Bimroma Ose Shalom Ose Shalom Bimroma Bimroma Uyase Shalom Aleim Ve'alko Yisrael Vimru Amen Uyase Shalom Aleim Ve'alko Yisrael Vimru Amen. So I want to close your eyes for a second, if you're willing to indulge me, and think about yourself as a rock, or throwing a rock into a pond. And that rock has a note attached to it. Could be anything. Could say I love you, could say I hate you, could say I'm frustrated, confused. But all of those rocks have ripples, and they go into our world and they make actions, and they have consequences. So if we want to create the world that we want to see, we have to think about what are we saying and how are we thinking, and what are we willing to put out there into the world. So as we sing this one more time, think about how you're adding to the peace in our world. Oh, say shalom, oh, say shalom, bimroma, bimroma, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'alko Yisrael imru amen. Uyase shalom aleinu, ve'alko Yisrael, ve'alko yoshvei tevel, v'imru, v'imru, amen. Page 371. It's so nice that nobody needs any healing and that we're all just feeling perfect. Oh, right. We all need some healing. Healing of the body, healing of the soul, of the spirit. Maybe healing that we don't even know that we need. Right? That feeling that you get when somebody smiles at you and you're like, why do I feel so intense that somebody just smiled? Oh, I must have needed that smile in some way. I must have needed that compassion or that understanding. Tonight, we're thinking about Carol Knopf. Thinking about you, Shula. Glad that you're feeling better by the day, hopefully. Ann Meitzen, we're thinking of you. Madeline Cantor and Jake Selinger, we're thinking about you. We're thinking about all of you who are willing to share that you're struggling, and all of you who are struggling and kind of holding it back. We're thinking about those of you who are struggling with illnesses that are able to be seen, and illnesses that are maybe invisible illnesses as well. No matter where you are in your life right now, we're thinking about you. And we're hoping that you have a refuah shlema, complete healing. If there's anybody who you'd like to add their name to this group of people for complete healing, please do so now. Go ahead, Steve. Great. Thank you. We should add a rabbi. Thank you. Rabbi, I had you on my list originally. I reprinted it. Yes. thinking of all of those who are struggling in the Middle East right now, all of those who are struggling in our country, not really knowing how to be or how to act, but needing to put one foot in front of the other and continuing to live. May they find a complete healing. 371, Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avoteinu Mekor Abraham Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the one before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishebera imotenu mekor Abraham leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. We've come to Shahachianu moments. You should know that it doesn't happen in every congregation. After I had been here for a couple of years, I went to a different congregation. I said, where are the Shahachianu? Why don't we get a chance to? They don't necessarily do it as part of the. Wait, what's the name? Go ahead, Kay. Well, do they get along, the dogs? And it's not just, he's in our congregation for many months, doing a two. Received through IV. Had been progressing normally as she suffered of my life. Heart still feels, as I think about the life Leo never got. To increase stillbirth awareness. Stillbirths affect 1 out of 8. Helped me begin this life of Sarah, who referenced that and all kinds of mysteries that she was able to live a life. I titled them 100%. Yes, you heard me correct. And I knew I had seen it somewhere. But tonight, by more than 4 people are still. Yeah, that's right. And feel the need to protest with little more than the information they get. Civil dispute about. Believe in the believe in. This is on the lack of a new next generation. Sarah, which will, he hoped. My sister and Liz went on to give birth. Sarah, my sister, was able to find some on it yet. I'll share it. Ever heard. High blood pressure almost took her own life. And baby Eloise will join that exists within the community. 6 for Elena. Father-in-law Daniel and Diane Philip. For mourners, Yitbarach. Making sure I include your whole family a little bit. And the collection will be through November. Wednesday, November 14th. People sign up. What we're doing and what we are. Yes, I got that. That buff out. I'm going to talk to you about the plans about what. Thank you so much for mentioning that. That's good. That owner. Okay. Ian, you guys want to come up and do some kids? No, you're not. Okay. Often. Oh, that's happening. One.
Chocolate color.
It's a. Already left. To a land all